Here we go. Hey, we are live. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching this video afterwards, if you're watching this now and you're thinking, hey, I should be part of this, you can be part of this. You just need to go jump out to facebook.com/JohnYoungMN. And then you're going to be able to be part of our group tonight. Because what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go around our room, our chat room tonight, or I should say our room you're seeing right here. I guess everybody's down below me. And we're going to talk and share one thing that we wish our younger self would have known. One tip, one idea, one aspect of the business or life. It could be any of these things, but one thing that our younger self, if we could have just shared this, it would have made life so much easier as we got farther into the industry. So we're going to kind of bounce around the room with this, and you're going to learn some things. There are going to be some things that are going to be cringeworthy, but those will all be mine. And it'll have a little fun with this tonight on our show. Again, if you'd like to join us, go out to John Young, or facebook.com/John Young. Let's see, MN. Yes, John Young MN. That's my page, and you'll see the Zoom link. Just click on that, and it'll bring you right in the room. So we're going to start with Rachel because she is on an iPad that will possibly shut her down because she's not wearing her tinfoil hat right now.
Pretty much.
So Rachel, give us kind of a if you could be talking to the younger Rachel Lynch, what would be the words of advice?
Sure. So I've been on about 15 years now. And the past 5 have been really awesome for me. If I could talk to my younger self, I would have told myself to focus on weddings earlier on, be braver to undertake those, because I really started out with just focusing on, bar gigs and kind of random things here and there, and it really did not set me up for a foundation to be an entertainer, which kind of translates into changing the mindset. Everyone I want to be a DJ, but there's so much more to being a DJ than just playing music. And the 15-year-old me was just focused on, the bars and the music and the coolness of it. And I really missed out on great opportunities to develop my skills as an MC and be the entertainer that I now feel I'm developing in, but I should have started that way earlier in the game. I feel like I'm playing a lot of catch up now because of that.
Sure. Interesting.
So yeah, that's my tip. Yeah.
Yeah, folks, to look at the weddings or to take them more seriously probably than a lot of us did when we first started. So interesting. Thank you, Rachel. We're going to bounce around here. Let's see. I'm going to go. Reggie, you're on my side here. We're just going to kind of go for the top.
Thanks. Right off.
Well, otherwise I could bounce around, but I figured,
bounce back to me.
Okay. Donnie, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Donnie, why don't you give me one? Get your tip.
Yeah. So my tip, is one of the things would be obviously retirement. Thinking about retirement early on instead of thinking about it in my mid 30s. Thinking about it in my 20s. But for the mobile DJ end of everything. For me, one of the things that caused me the greatest anxiety was my vehicle and my trailer at the time. Just investing in that vehicle, investing in your transportation and making sure that you're getting there and back without an issue. Not that my vehicles had any issues, but, I had to replace a tire on the side of a bridge on a 3-lane highway on my trailer. So going from a single axle to a dual axle trailer so I could get off that road safely and make sure that I could do that without creating more anxiety for myself and saving myself time, because I would leave an hour and a half earlier than I could have left just because I was nervous about potentially blowing a tire on my trailer or having some kind of issue with the truck. So instead, I just spent the money on a brand new Dodge Ram, got one of the best dual axle trailers, and now I get in my truck, I put on ESPN radio, and I drive nicely to my event, and I had some fun.
Excellent. Good advice. Yes, the vehicle would definitely be an important part. I think I had that same problem at one time in life. So thank you, Donnie.
My wife's got a picture and a video of me with my leg bent at a 90-degree angle into the semi lane on one of the largest bridges here in New York. And that was scary and kind of sketchy.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's not something you want to be doing. That's for sure. All right. Thank you, Donnie. Mitch, you're up next as we're going across here, if you're ready.
Absolutely. What Donnie said, I'd echo that.
You can't. You got to come up with something new.
Well, Marshawn Lynch said it. after you're retired for the second or third time from the NFL, he said, "Take care of your chickens," and I can't stress that enough. He's talking about money, and to me, setting aside money for retirement is something you should be doing right off the bat. I wish I had found Profit First way sooner than I did. And for anyone who's not doing Profit First, setting aside money for you for future, making sure you're running your business as a business, that is something you should be doing. For me, as Rachel stated earlier, it kind of was all about the gear and all about the scene and all about the music. Absolutely. But at some point, it's going to transform into a business for you, and you have to treat it as such. So being able to set aside finances properly to allocate for your expenses, for your employees, for payroll, for taxes, for profit, all of that kind of content, I really wished I had known sooner.
Sure. And I think actually a couple of people in the chat room before we even went on had mentioned that, or maybe a private message, the same concept. So thank you, Mitch. Scott, you're up next.
All right. Well, I've been at this thing since dinosaurs roamed this. I'm about to hit my 40th year this next month.
Wow.
40 years of actually doing this. And being prepared back then was something that I did not think of doing. Really did not. We used to just come in, play the music. The bride would give us her first dance, father-daughter, mother-son dance. There was no preparation there.
Sure.
And I am glad now that I have the knowledge to be able to do that. But I would say that going back when I first started, there was no preparation. We just went in and started playing music. On their day of their wedding, they're giving me all their songs.
Yep.
Now, and that's happened to me. Or I get it 2 days before, and I'm running to the record store to buy 45s or an album. I would buy one album to get one song. And I had requests for that. And what I would do, I got to the point where I got frugal. I would just go ahead and hold that thing over to the very end before I unwrapped it, before I pulled the shrink wrapping off of it. If there's not a DJ in this room that back then played CD or vinyl and did not do that, you're lying. because I did that. I held back, and I was cringing that they wouldn't ask, especially when CDs were in. $16 per CD. But the preparation, the agenda, the timeline, this is what I'm talking about.
Sure.
When I walk into a wedding, I know exactly what I'm going to do. The photographer don't have to tell me what I need to do. I'm letting the photographer and I'm letting the vendor know. This, as far as the caterer, everybody knows what their part is at a wedding. And if you're not doing that, you're running into a wall. But I will say that we did not have preparation when we started out.
No, not back then. Not at all. That was
we didn't. We ran into that thing, and we ran with it. Of course, weddings were different back then.
Yeah.
Take that from me. It was quite, and I fell into it by mistake.
Well, you were doing the same thing we were all doing at that time. That's what it really was.
Yeah, but I mean, we just ran in there. But that's where I would say is being prepared for an event, whether it be a wedding or any kind of event.
Yeah. Nice.
Reading the crowd is one thing, but that's it.
Thank you, Scott.
That's my thing, being prepared.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that's That's a good one, because I was there, did the same thing, and that would have actually been a good one for me to use too. So let's see, Chris.
I wish we could flash back into a '90s wedding so I could just check one out. I want to see it so bad.
See what we did, but
like '90s, early 2000s, somewhere around there. Just, I mean, I stepped into it in 2012, so. Yeah, I mean, the game is a lot different, I'm sure, but I mean, all the stories.
Yes, it is.
All the stories I hear. I mean, when I first started, I had a guy that was asking me over and over again to be a wedding DJ, and I'm like, I am not playing Love Shack, dude. I'm just not doing it every Friday, Saturday night. It's just not happening. Like, I'm going in, I'm gonna have some fun, and then I found out you don't have to play Love Shack. So yeah,
you just play Celebration 3 times.
You missed the vinyl and the CD, then you came in the digital world, because I started in the digital in 2001 or 2.
Yeah, well, I started DJing in '97, but I didn't switch over to a computer until 2011, I think it was. And then in 2012, I started doing weddings.
We went to it way early. We went with PC DJ back in the day.
Yeah, I used to have PC VJ. I remember my apartment messing with it, but yeah.
That's what I learned on PCDJ Red.
Yeah, too bad you people didn't have Mega Seg. You could have really done something with yourselves. But let's continue on. Chris,
Throw that in there.
Chris Hintz is up next. Let's see. Yep, you got your mic on there, Chris. What do you got for us?
I do. Good evening, guys. I think for me, if I could go back 15 years to when we really started, I would have said document everything and be intentional about what you're trying to do, because I knew it was something I wanted to grow a business from. I didn't want it just to be a single op. I knew that it was something for me that was going to hopefully allow me to hire people and then control more of my schedule. But I don't think I did a really good enough job actually documenting what needed to be done, how it needed to be done, and creating those procedures. And I think had I done that, it would have sped up a lot of our growth, a lot faster. It would have been so much easier to scale and so much easier to train when you have things documented.
Sure, I get that. And I think one of the big things that we've benefited from here in the last 10 years is people like Mike Walter and others who have started to create documentation for these procedures for growing our business and adding staff and what have you. We didn't have that. Didn't have that. So yeah, today that's a great thing. Good tip there, Chris. Randy, you're up next on the screen. Do you have a tip you want to share with us?
Yeah, I think if I had to go back, I would have said attend some kind of conference or training a lot earlier than I did. It took me 15 years into my career before I attended my first time in Atlantic City. That was back in like 2009 or 2010. I would have done that a lot sooner.
I think that's one a lot of us could echo, is that we all thought we knew what we were doing and we had all the answers, and then we went to our first convention and we talked to people and just ran into that passion of everyone else that's like, oh my gosh, my eyes are open.
Exactly.
Yeah, great stuff. Thank you, Randy. Howie, you're up next.
Oh, okay. Is my mic working?
You're on. You are on.
All right. For Rachel, I'll put on the full hat.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Howie, your internet's so much better now.
I always have props. You know that.
My address. Send that to me when we're done with this.
Yeah, she needs an iPad to work.
I always have props. I think, man, there's a combination of so much that I've heard. I wish I wasn't so cocky, because things came to me so easy when I was, in my teens and 20s. And I had no idea about business, how to run a business. And I'm still not very good at it, truthfully, but I'm learning at these conferences. I went bankrupt. I lost $250,000 when I was 22 years old. I had a huge multi-op doing bands, live bands. And it was from one thing. I got away with it once, I got away with it twice, and I would promote these concerts, and there was a big wreck. I had a guy, I rented a rider flatbed truck for a stage, and I would put these concerts on. The big bands that I had that already had a following would draw people, and the newer bands I was promoting, I would have them play as well to get a following, and I could book them in the bars. Anyway, the guy driving the pickup truck the flatbed was drunk and took off the porches of 5 row homes while he was returning the truck. And because I didn't know anything about business and separating and LLCs and being, insulated, I lost everything. So I would say get some education early on. And but there was nothing back out there like this then at the time. Of course, that was back in the late 30s, so wasn't much going on.
Well, good. I'm glad you're with us and such. From 70 years ago of doing shows, Howie. 70, 80, well, a little longer. Good stuff though, Howie. Yeah, that ego. I think we all had that as a younger person, and that's important. And then doing business and setting things up correctly to protect our butts. Good tips. Let's see, Eric, you're up next as I'm working my way across.
All right, how's it going, guys? So I'm a little late to the show. I was putting my kids to bed, and I said, "Oh man!" All of a sudden, it's 9 o'clock. I better get out there.
Yeah, glad you made
going
it.
last has its benefits. I get to listen to everybody else, and then try to pick some of those pieces that those nice tips that you guys have told us. So as Scott said, I came in, and being organized for an event is absolutely crucial. And the one thing I'm going to add on to that, I tend now, as I become more of a veteran, to get there even earlier. So I know it's going to take me an hour and 20 minutes to set up. So I used to give myself maybe 2 hours to set up. If I get caught off guard and the wedding was short and all of a sudden the bride and groom show up early, I don't want to get caught taping things down. I don't want to get caught sweating. Mm-hmm. So I now give myself at least another half hour just for that little bit of prep. I go in, I get changed, kind of close my eyes, focus a little bit, go over the notes, and then come at it instead of huffing and puffing and being sweaty. So organization, I think, Scott, when you said that, I think that's something that I've definitely learned. So my first gig was in 1986. I've been doing this a long time. My first wedding was it was at a little local restaurant. I DJ literally off the back of my pickup truck. We dropped the tailgate. I put the rig on the back of my pickup truck. We threw plywood panels down to dance off on these things. So I've gone from that extreme to, real nice weddings here in Lake Placid. So I've kind of seen it all. The second thing that Randy said is I think that I'd like to have a nice living room to sit in, like Randy over there. He's lounging on his leather chairs in the back room. Randy's actually right up the road from me. He and I are buds. We've one thing you're saying is helping each other out. Randy and I are friends, and he and I trade ideas sometimes. We catch each other on here, and so that's been something that's been nice between us. I don't know how it is for the rest of you guys in your market. Is there a competition? Is it friendly competition? Is it helpful competition? But Randy and I have had a nice relationship, so I need to
Always my pleasure
to be as cool as him.
Always my pleasure.
Yeah, man. And then Howie, you just mentioned running a business. So I had the great fortune of going through an audit last year. That was a lot of fun. It took me about 17 months. I mean, they're pulling all kinds of stuff out. And I learned a ton. And at the end, I said to the guy, man, you should really run like a small business course. So one thing to you guys, I don't know if everybody there, if you guys are a full-time business or not, but I am with my guys. And taking a small business course would be a really, really good idea.
Sure.
They helped me find things that I was missing and things I was just doing wrong, but I could do better. I save every receipt from everything I do. I don't care if it's a $1.85 I spend on a soda now. If you guys are full-time business, save them all, everything.
Yeah, that audit, they will want to see that paper trail.
Everything, man. I mean, I've got stacks and boxes, and I can stand behind me and go, my God, that inputs the paperwork. I'm not real good about doing it myself.
Yeah.
But that's 2019 that my guy comes over and inputs for me.
Yeah. No,
does ice cream count?
Is it what?
Ice cream?
Yes, ice cream.
Absolutely. If you're on your way to a job, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Save the receipt. Dairy Queen receipt. No,
there's a lot of pizza to write off. Oh my God.
Yeah,
you were going to say that.
Like thousands.
Extra cheese. Money.
Good stuff though.
Box of receipts gives me anxiety, guys.
Rachel's got to make that go.
It does. It looks bad. So yeah, getting that business knowledge and taking some courses. Great advice there, Eric. Let's keep going. Jody, you are up next. If you can turn your mic on there. And if you guys didn't get a chance, check out Jody and Pat. We're on with Bill Herman last night talking about the upcoming presentations he's going to be doing. So that was
Hi, everybody.
Fun. Hello.
Hello. Cool. Hey, nice to see you all. Hey, Mitch. Hey, Rachel.
Hey, CEO fun.
CEO fun. Okay, so my advice would be to make connections. Start making connections early. Mitch Taylor has a great book about making connections. So that would be my advice, because it's all about who you know. Go out there, get involved in associations. I didn't do that when I first started out many years ago with my husband. And I think if I did, I'd be like unstoppable. I mean, I'm good now, don't get me wrong, but I think if I did it younger and earlier in my career, it would have been awesome. But yeah, going out there, because you know what they say, it's all about who you know. It's not how good you are. Sometimes it's just who you know, shaking the right hands, meeting the right people, making connections. That's what I would definitely network, join in a professional association, go where the food is. If you want to meet catering executives, hang out at NACE. If you want to meet wedding coordinators, then join the ABC or join WIPA. But it's great to be part of a DJ association, but you're going to meet other DJs. So if you're looking to get business, I would, with these kind of people, I would definitely go hang out in their yard. I would definitely play in their yard.
Yeah. Excellent advice. Excellent advice. Let's keep going here. Jimmy, you're up next. Are you good with us, Jimmy?
There we go.
There we go.
There we
yeah.
go.
Younger
Gotta go
self.
cursor over. Health. Pay attention to your health.
Mm-hmm.
Your diet, your just long range health. All right. You get done at the club at 2 a.m. and going and having an omelet and a gym box or some pizza or whatever. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. All right?
Poor Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel's not.
Rachel's.
She's ducking.
She's gone.
She's like,
yeah, at that time, Jimmy.
Don't tell me the pizza.
That's if there's anything I can look back on was to do that. All right, that and buy better gear early.
And
don't go cheap just because you're starting out. Get the absolute best gear you can get.
Buy once, cry once.
Yeah,
that's the motto there. So good advice there, Jimmy. Let's see, we've got Reggie. I'm going to come back up to you, and then Brent. I'll be coming across to you. I don't know how, Brent, you moved on the side of my screen. You were down towards the bottom, and all of a sudden you're up on the top there. So I don't know.
Magic.
Yeah, magic. So Reggie, let's hit yours, and then I'll hit. So I want to try to get things somewhat in my order, so I don't lose or miss somebody. So Reggie, what do you have for us?
Okay, well, I'm going to kind of take it in different aspects of everybody else. Kind of give a little insight to where I was in my past is what I would tell my younger self as a DJ: stay away from the alcohol. I was a very, very big drinker when I used to DJ at bars, clubs, private parties. And once you got stuck with that name as a heavy drinker while you're playing, I can already tell you, I've already lit a set of speakers on fire. And I would just tell myself to stay away from the alcohol, because once you get stuck with that label, it takes you years to get rid of that label.
Sure. No, good advice. Yeah.
As you know from being from the Midwest, John.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, and it's very, very common with DJs around the area that when I would play in these smaller bars, and they would be bringing up any number of alcoholic drinks.
Beer, you name it.
It was common, yeah. And it's just, as you say, once you get that, when I'd be filling in for DJs who were there, and they're like, oh, the other guy he drinks about, a 12-pack every week, and you sure you don't want something to drink? Yeah, it's prevalent. So
that's a very strict rule with us. Very strict.
Very good advice, Reggie. Thank you.
Wait, John. Can we go back to the drunken speaker fire story and find out how that happened?
We'll get to that after we get done. I want to get to everybody.
If you guys want to know this,
I can tell you how I did it.
We'll talk about that in just a second. We're gonna get Brent, and that way we'll shut down the live stream so we can keep it tighter, and then we can have the gossip session. So, Brent, you are wrapping us up here. I think you are the last one that I think everyone else has been on. So, Brent, what would be your tip for your younger self?
Honestly, today was spent with me registering for unemployment insurance for employees and registering for various tax ID numbers to set up full-time employees instead of contractors. Mm-hmm. So if I would have known that, I would have paid more attention in my college accounting courses, because QuickBooks and I have been going round and round for the last week and a half. So, but other than that, that's what I would have focused on, is the business side of things and learning to treat it like a business, run it like a business, and just learn a little bit more about that before I started, because I'm kind of learning as I go, and we're getting there. But there's been some speed bumps.
Sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good advice with that. For myself, I've actually thought about this. I've done a few variations of this show. What would I tell my younger self? And probably the thing I'm coming back to the most in the last few years is actually not being afraid to learn to do some of the music mixing a long time ago at a higher level than what I was doing 10 years ago. Doing simple things like dropping it on a one, or to being able to overlap the music a little bit better. I wish I would have spent more time doing that 10, 15 years ago. I had the technology once we went to CDs. I had the players. I just didn't do it, and didn't do it at a proficient level at all. And as I look back, it's like I would have encouraged that, and encouraged, kind of as Rachel said, the MC side of it, because those two areas are why people are hiring me these days, is that I'm a competent MC and I can mix music and keep a flow of music going at a level I couldn't do 10 to 15 years ago. So the performance side, if we wanted to kind of get it down to that. So
I find it funny that we're like polar opposites. I wish I focused less on music and mixing and more on entertainment and emceeing, and you wanted more of the musical aspect. It's just funny how that works out.
And I think part of that probably comes from the teaching, from being an elementary teacher. That part of it, I was the game guy for the longest time to a point. Didn't do a ton of emceeing beyond the games. And now as I get into it more, it would have been more fun, or I should say I could have done more by being in that moment and being doing that improv type things during, the best man does something, and to build off that, as opposed to having my set things that I said and did with my games and activities, and then missing opportunities that would set me apart from other DJs who are not able to react and respond, and in the music side. So, well, cool. I think we've got everyone who had their camera on. So thank you guys for your sharing and such. We're going to shut down the live stream right now, and then we're going to continue. You guys can hang out we're going to hang out here in the room and hear how Reggie managed to burn up his speakers. And Donnie, I think Donnie's burned it. Goodness, you people are just dangerous. I'm just going to say it. So thank you guys for being with, and thank you for watching, and we will catch you next time on DJNTV. Bye, everybody.